Hi and welcome to another video log with me, Fettouhi. How's it going, everybody? As you can see, I've changed a little bit here. Hope you saw my last unboxing video. If not, check it out. It's Loot Crate. Anyways, today I'm going to talk a little bit about I upgraded to Windows 10. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've been experiencing for. I've been experiencing a lot of different things. I've been messing around with a couple hours. Just got home from work, did my workout, and checking out the stuff here. So first off, I have been using Windows 8.1 Professional, fully licensed and everything. So I've been having the icon like everybody else, probably out there. And when I got home, I was not in the first wave, which is what Microsoft is calling it. They are putting it out in waves, so not everyone is going to get it today. My sister actually has the option to download it right now. She's actually downloading it. But that's going to take some time because it's probably around 4 gigs because it's pretty much ISO file. So what I did instead from work, I've actually tested it out from work on another laptop, is I downloaded the media creation tool, which is available. Just Google Windows 10 media creation tool. You can download media creation tool. The media creation tool will let you create a media, either USB or ISO of Windows 10. The official release, nothing download from torrents, not a preview build, nothing like that. It's the real deal, it's the final release. A lot of articles been written about it. If you don't want to wait, you can use this option. And it's pretty fast. If you have a USB 3.0 with, I suggest more than 4 gigs, because a 4 gig will not cover it. It is a little bit larger actually when you extract it. So get an 8 gig. This here is a 16 gig USB pin. I made the creation tool. I worked it out on at work. Tested it out on an HP laptop. We upgraded it and everything worked fine. Even with Avast, which is an antivirus program, which is pretty the antivirus program upgrading is on new OS is not something I would recommend, but it actually worked here. I haven't seen any issues with it. Gonna mess around a little bit more tomorrow at work if I have time. Anyway, so I did this. I used this here on my PC, which is a custom build rig with iCore 7, Asus ROG motherboard, a Formula 16, an iCore 7. I think it's the I can't remember, something the 45 or something like that. 477K, I think it's called. Doesn't really matter. Who cares? 16 gigs RAM as SSD. It took like 20 minutes. You cannot boot up from it. If you boot up, it will actually think you're installing a brand new installation. You cannot use Windows 8 keys on this installation. It will require Windows 10 keys. So you have to do an upgrade. You just plug it in, you start, browse like it's a CD-ROM or something, browse in, start the exe file and start the upgrade process. We'll copy the files or reboot, and then you will see the logo, black screen logo, 0%, copying files, installing drivers, features, and setting up. That's the 3 key things that it's going to do in the full 100% process. So after that, everything went smooth. I have a 970 GTX Asus NVIDIA card in it. I had, of course, the newest drive installed before I actually started this adventure here. When all the files were copied over, it actually booted. It actually said, "Well, hey, you have Razor. Would you like to download Razor stuff?" Okay, and this was before the operation system was fully working. It was actually in the installation download feature, so it popped up like you see a logo, 0%, or I think it was 50% or something. And it said like, you want to install this? And I had a mouse control. I said, yeah, let me install the drivers here. So everything worked. From that, it got into rebooting a couple of times. It went over to actually going in and starting the setup. It remembered my last login, my account login, and everything with that. I logged in. So it asked me, how do you want to set up? Do you want a quick express setup where it just defaults everything? You want to customize? Choose custom. Clicked everything off that I wanted to do. Booted in. So I have a free monitor setup. I have two 24-inch Samsungs right here. And I have my brand new Asus ROG Swift as my primary. So the problem is that, or it's not a problem, it's just an annoyance, is that the Asus 970 model graphics card from NVIDIA has that stupid issue. Even though you have, you say, well, this here, my Asus Swift monitor is actually running, or DVI, or not DVI, it's DisplayPort, which is the only way to get G-Sync running. But it's not going to be my primary monitor in BIOS and boot and post-process, because for some reason they chose that DVI is this primary port for that in this card. So that's that monitor. So I'm looking over here, and the other monitors are not working. It's blank, or they're working. There's no signal from the card. So I think, well, okay, fuck it, it's drivers. So the drivers are not. Windows 8.1 driver will not work on Windows 10. So okay, you're gonna go ahead and download the NVIDIA drivers. No problem with that. Went to NVIDIA, found the drivers, downloaded them. Okay, installed them. Everything was working. Okay. And the drivers actually saw, okay, now the monitor is working. It fixed everything up. It remembered, okay, you used to have this as primary, this is the one, this is the left, and everything was set up. Then the driver crashed for some fucking reason. I don't know why, but I got it working again. Just tweaking some stuff, doing some settings there. Everything was working after that. Then I tried capturing with it. Then it crashed again because it couldn't use the X264 codec, which is, of course, a compression codec for making these videos here. And I'm using actually Open Broadcaster with this here. I can actually just switch over to my monitor here and just minimize this here because you don't want to see this. I'm actually right now using Open Broadcaster, as you can see, to actually use this here. And I have a couple other programs over here. So it crashed there. And for some reason, it fucked everything up. I thought, well, okay, let's reboot. After reboot, everything actually is working pretty well. I haven't actually seen issues here. We go in and see device settings. If there's any, all drivers are working as they should. Let's switch over to monitor again. As you can see, everything is looking great. So then I actually switched over to actually doing games. So I tried booting up The Witcher from GOG, and GOG and Steam works perfectly. I haven't actually seen performance issues, and you can capture also with this here. Everything works pretty well. I saw a crash again because if you're using NVIDIA G-Sync, or not NVIDIA the NVIDIA Experience application, which I'm using just for shits and giggles pretty much. I know a lot of people out there, hardcore gamers, want to tweak it yourself instead of using that stupid experience there. Well, I'm lazy. Using the experience has been a great feature for me. It's just pretty much easier with that. I tweak maybe a little bit in there if the game is not running that well. But anyways, I booted it up. It did an update while I was actually recording, and it crashed. The driver again, not the driver as in no monitor was working, just crashed, and the recording didn't work, and the screens went nuts, and I had to redo all the thing again. This is actually the fourth time I'm actually recording this here, and hoping everything is working out. The Witcher itself is actually working pretty well. So a couple of features I would like to show you off, which I am a fan of. So let's switch out to the monitor here. So if you want, for instance, I'm a huge fan of actually using Windows E, which is like Windows R for run hotkeys, which is. So if you want to switch with that, it will actually, as a standard pop in here, you can switch around where the option of File Explorer opens to here. Quick access default. This PC is the second option. I use this PC because I hate this option here. Everything else, like for instance, I had a problem with my microphone. That was pretty much because it needed to be put in another USB port. I'm guessing there is some issue with IRQ request ports. There, if you remember from the old days, there are IRQ ports, IRQ 7, 8, and 14. I think there might be some confusion with that, and I had to switch over to another port, and the device is working. I'm actually using it for recording right now. As you can see here, everything is working. I'm using Twitter, the feed there. Also, a nice feature which I like is that you can now drag up here, and you can either full screen or you can actually corner them in these here small. Come on, there we go. And you can see here it will actually say, okay, half here. Now you could. Before you could only actually do halves. Now you can do quarters, which is actually pretty cool. And this here is not a new feature. If you've been messing around with the preview build, this is pretty new. This is standard. Also, I would like to say the task view, which they call, is also awesome. This is the virtual desktop experience, where you can have multiple applications running in different desktops. I don't really gonna use that because I have 3 desktops already. So that's fun and all, but so far everything is working as it should. The only problem so far that I've seen, which I can't fix, and I'm reading and talking to people over the web that's saying that there are people having activation problems. And when I say activation problems, I mean license activation. When you use Windows 7 and 8, it either ask you for activation after a couple of days, or it will automatically activate when it gets internet connection. So my desktop already activated. I have a fully licensed Windows 8.1 Pro, and I upgraded from that with this here key here. USB key. The problem is that the activation, I can't activate it, and I'm thinking that since the keys do not work, you can't use the keys to actually make a new installation from this. You can't like reinstall with this here. You have to make a recovery media from your upgrade before you actually can do a reinstall. This here will not work. This here will only work if you have official bought a Windows 10 license key. Just FYI there. So, and I'm thinking, because I use this here, it's actually not wiping, but it's actually overwriting the license which was on it, putting in a new license which it says is valid, and then it tries to activate. So why isn't this working? So from what I've seen on TechNet and all the other IT forums which I'm a member of, I've seen that people are saying that, and official TechNet users or helpers there, admins, are saying that Microsoft deactivated pre-launch, pre-serial keys, which are probably what this key is using. And that's because they want to be ready for this here upgrade. I don't know why, and maybe because they're limiting, they know what keys are going to be pushed out to people depending on the upgrade. I don't know how it's going to work. So from this point on, I can't at least, and a lot of other people can't activate the Windows license. This here is not a problem so far, because from what I've seen is that first of all, Windows 10 you should be able to try this version here for over a month. So, and I think actually this was passed for in 8.1 and also in Windows 7. You have a 30-day trial which you can use. But I actually think this here is actually a year in Windows 10 from what I've read. And don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure on this. But I'm thinking if you do a really legitimate upgrade from the icon where you download it, I think activation might be working on that. I think that's the problem. So what I've done so far to test my theory is I have a laptop over here, which is an old laptop which is not upgraded yet, but has also a Windows 8.1 in it. I'm waiting for that to get upgraded and doing a fully upgrading and see if this is working, because it's weird, and and the funny thing is there is no error code, and Microsoft guidelines are saying, well, then you have to go into the store. But yeah, go into the store. Why? I don't need to buy a new key. I actually want to activate the key I already have. But I think it's because Microsoft is actually preventing us for releasing or activating the keys. So that's pretty much the only thing that I can't get to work. Everything else is actually working. It's probably been the only upgrade which I have experienced which is this flawless. I have tried many upgrades, Windows 7, Windows 8 also, Windows 8.1, and they have never been as fluently as this one here. Also, FYI, and I want to show you guys this. You can, if you are not satisfied, you can go into recovery options and revert back to Windows 8. And the reason is, if you go ahead and check out your hard drive, there's Windows 8.1 or your Windows 7 or whatever you upgraded from, it's still there. Okay. Let's say you're really satisfied with this here. Do you want this space here, because this here is large. This is probably a 50 gigs, maybe less, 20 gigs at least. Do not delete this. Do not just delete the files. You go ahead, you right click, you go to properties, and there is well, it used to be here, but it's not here anymore. Disk cleanup. Go with this instead. Use disk cleanup, check this out, let it make dump files, and if you go to system cleanup files and let it do a scan again, now it's actually looking at the operating system and Windows installations, previous Windows installations. I'm not going to do this because I might actually have to revert if I can't really license this here. And it will also check update catalog. So then you will actually get on the list the previous Windows installation. As you can actually see, this is 20 gigs. That's the correct way to clean up and remove the old operating system. Do not, I repeat, do not delete it manually. It will only make problems. So that's my tip for that. So I hope you enjoyed this video here and my checking out this here Windows 10 upgrade. I will tweet out if I actually figure out something new, maybe do a new vlog, but who knows. Dislike the video if you don't like it, or if you want to express your words in a comment, please do that. Send me an email if you want to. Also, check out my other videos in the channel and follow me on Twitter at Fettouhi. Yeah, until next time, bye.